Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2, or well, hopefully high-level game. In the top right, spawn in as the Blue Zerg player playing for Team Alpha X, it's Ragnarok. And in the bottom left for Team GP, it is Ryung. This hopefully is going to be a banger of a game between these two beautiful players. Ryung and Ragnarok, both names starting with an R, except here Ragnarok is called Boom, which I think is his real name. He changed back and forth between using his real name and the ID Ragnarok. And I think officially he's still called Ragnarok, but every now and then he plays on an account with this name. I thought there was a word with an S before it, like Shin, Hibium, or something like that before. I think that might be his real name, but oh well, I digress. A Reaper Marine opener here for Ryung, who's pretty decent lately. He's come back from the military, I think a year ago or so, and every now and then he pops up with a decent result, but I think very often his gameplay looks better than his results make you believe. He is pretty solid, he plays quite standard as well, but he also knows when to cheese if the opponent is a lot better. Against a player like Ragnarok, I'd expect him to actually just go for a pretty standard macro game here. So far it's just a single gas, most likely going to go for a fast triple CC opener. This Reaper will... actually, did it just kill a Ling? Yeah, it did just kill a Ling. So that's a good start. First Creep Tumor also gets built pretty far back, although this Reaper already had a lot of damage on it. Third base got denied by that initial SCV scout as well, and here we go. Third hatch gets thrown down at 34 supply, as the Queen managed to push that Reaper far enough away to one side. Speed as well as two workers still on gas here. Overlord speed is going to be the opener here. And all he's really going to see with that Overlord speed is the fact that there's a third command center. But he already could have figured it out by checking whether there is a third depot on the low ground or not. So this is really, well, it's not money wasted, because obviously Overlord speed is going to be useful later on in the game as well. But this is a big investment into an upgrade that is not really going to achieve very much here at the start. Ooh, I say that, but I see a third gas go down. Now, to be fair, that also probably could have been scouted by this Overlord. So really there's not that much here that that this single Overlord and maybe a Ling running into the natural would have been able to figure out. Most likely going to be battle cruisers, of course, with a third gas timing like this. And this Viking is going to be slightly too late to deny any major scouting, I do believe. This Marine is going to try, and then maybe the Viking can get an Overlord. I'm not quite sure actually what the speed of the Speeder Lord is in comparison to the speed of the Viking. Like who wins that speed battle? I'm not entirely sure. Fusion Core hasn't gone down yet. And well, it still should start at some point. There we go. Fusion Core goes down in the natural. Okay, that's one Overlord going down. This is going to be an expensive scout, honestly. Big investment in the Overlord speed already, and now the Viking is going to be able to take out both of these Overlords as well. So that's two Overlords down, 100 as well on that OV speed. I mean, that's not a great start, and the build is not going to change very much here. Like it's still a triple CC, it's going to be mech. I think Ragnarok would have been capable of figuring that out anyway. Of course, usually you get that Overlord speed, so you can figure out whether it's maybe like a 2-base Hellbat all in or something of the sort. There's a third Overlord on the way right now, perhaps wanting to see if there is going to be a quick armory. And the Viking has a pretty decent shot at stopping that as well, or at least killing that eventually. Even a fourth Overlord. Imagine if this Viking gets 2 more kills. That would be quite something. That really would be quite something. Actually, I think the Marine got one of the kills as well, yeah. There's only a single kill on the Viking. So they share that experience here of killing an Overlord. It's always very scary, that first Overlord kill, of course. The creep has been largely untouched, and Ragnarok is going to continue pushing that forward for now. 7 queens are out, 2 more on the way. We'll bring the total up to 9. Divide 9 by 3, and you have 3. Whew, quick maths. Double armory being thrown down here, post double factory. As this Overlord is going to get pushed out by this Marine. And then the Viking is going to come in to try and kill that OV as well. I think it might be able to do just that. The other Overlord goes into the main base. Confirms for a 5th time this game that it indeed is mech. And really has scouted absolutely everything at this point. Well, multiple times. Another Overlord is going to get taken out. Ragnarok actually is going to get supply blocked here. Forgetting that he did send in an Overlord. This Viking will try to catch this bad boy as well. Don't think it's going to be possible. There's no... Well, actually, there's going to be double armory, so I guess Hellions will just be able to morph into Hellbats at some point. This is a cool opener, though, out of Ryung. He's going to teleport this first battlecruiser straight away across the map. Ragnarok is not in position in the natural, he's in position in the main base, though. I love the teleportation there in that dead space. No Overlord there to spot it, no Overlord to go down. However, another Overlord is being taken out here by the Viking, who's going to get his third kill. Helvet's moving into the fourth base here. There's a lot of queens in position, but not quite sure. Well, no, it should be plenty, right? No banings are going to be necessary as 5, 6, 7? 7 workers get taken out here by the battlecruiser. BC might end up falling, though. Oh. Ill advised to zoom in there by the observer. Should fire that guy. Spire. Wait, that is a quick Spire. Or this is a late battlecruiser, I guess, huh? I don't think this jump is going to be done in time. I think a Corruptor might just make it there. Just barely. It's Mutalisk. Alright, Mutalisk it is, huh? That is quite a rare thing to see. Another weird thing here is that not a single roach has been built. And this is the point where Ryung should be asking himself, hey, what actually is it that you are building? It's going to be Mutalisk into Roach Warren. Okay, he can't teleport away. He should just teleport away. Like, he can't really wait for a single hit by a Mutalisk or a single hit by something else. He needs to get this thing repaired. eBay is on the way. 2 Tors are being built as well right at this moment, immediately. And 16 drones are on the way. These Hellions at the same time, taking out a lot of creep. This has been a great opener for Ryung, honestly. Flies the second battlecruiser across the map. Do we have that? Okay, not a single upgrade. Didn't end up going for that Yamato cannon yet. Which means that there's not going to be a free kill every couple of minutes. No. However, this bad boy is going to fly in. These Mutalisks will have to return back home. 4 or 5 workers gonna get taken out, though. Once again, teleport back home. Tries to target down a Muta is, of course, not going to work out. I think now is a great time to start researching Yamato and to continue that battlecruiser production. We have 2 mines on the map, 2 Thors on the map as well. A couple of turrets are being thrown down. 4th base already done. We're playing a 4 base versus 4 base. The creep spread is looking very poor here for Ragnarok as Ryung is entering the mid-game really quickly. Oh, this is almost skipping the mid-game here and just going straight into late. Factory 4 and 5, 4th base being set up here. Thors are defending that 4th base. And there is more Mutalisk on the way, but really, what are you going to be doing with Mutalisk if the setup is this clean for the Terran? The Terran has had absolutely no issue so far this game. Let's not forget about that freaking Viking killing, what, 4 Overlords or something like that. Of course, we're not forgetting the part that this bad boy had in as well. Actually, 2 kills on this Marine. I think just one of that is an Overlord. This bad boy has 3. So yeah, probably kill a Ling as well or something like that. Something along them lines. 3 more Overlords on the way. 200 supply has already been reached. So these Overlords might be used for Overseers to join up these Mutalisks. Of course, plenty of money in the bank right now for Ragnarok, the main Swarm Host. Muta Swarm Host. Now this is something that has been becoming kind of hip again, unlike the word hip, which is never becoming cool ever again. But this Muta into Swarm Host, we used to see it back in the day. I think Cyril used to play it a bunch, if I recall correctly, is what Lambo told me about this. And now it has been coming back, that Mutalisk Ling Bane, and if that Mutalisk Ling Bane doesn't really work out, the quick switch into Swarm Host. You kind of keep that map control with the Muta Ling Bane, and then with the Swarm Host, oh, it's gonna get scouted! Huge scout here, huge scout. Now, the counter to this is actually relatively easy, and it's continuing battlecruiser production. Because battlecruisers fight extremely well against Swarm Host, and they also fight extremely well against Mutalisk, which means if you get up to 5 BCs, and you can just kind of move around. You can deny Niduses if the Swarmos want to use that. Or you can just Yamato a Swarmos every single time. That would be huge. On top of that, the battlecruisers are brilliant against the Locust while they're still flying. And they're also great against the Locust if they're on the ground, of course. They're just good against Locust. There's 3 BCs right now in the main bit. What are they doing? I think they're trying to preemptively cut off anything hitting the left side. Phoenix are trying to roll in. Tank is going to get taken out. Mutal is trying to fly in. Obviously, but this is that's a rough move. I don't think that's going to end up working. Tanks at this 4th base will save the planetary. And these battlecruisers, rather than trying to defend, are going for an aggressive move. I'm not so sure what I think of that. They will push back the Mutalisk, and with Yamato completing as well, I guess that means that at least 3 more Mutas are going to fall. But at the same time, I feel like if you just survive till 2-2 and you have a maxed army, you survive a Swarm Host wave and then you push out against this. what is there really that the Zerg can do? They don't have any Ravagers to stop the push. The only thing they have is the Swarm Host, and the Swarm Host will kind of function as the Ravager, trying to delay a move out, trying to deal damage at the same time if you're not sieged up properly. And that is really the only thing that the Zerg has going for, well, himself here at this point. These Lings are going to try and cancel a Sensor Tower, will fail. I'm not quite sure if that was because the Lings were too weak or because Ryung didn't actually cancel it. I think many other Terrans would have cancelled that Sensor Tower, believing it would probably die at some point. We see the Swarmos moving towards the left side, will shoot their best shot here. Ultralisk Cavern on the way as well, as these Mutalisks will return back home. Do we see, well, oh, not a single Yamato? That's odd. That really is quite odd. Teleport towards the Locust, and with these Thors here as well. I mean, these Locusts should not be capable of doing very much. A couple of workers are going to go down, though. 5th base is on the way, it's actually already done. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of command centers added though, so that worker count being super high isn't a necessity. Now the follow-up is most likely going to be Ghost here, as we already have 2 extra barracks being constructed, whereas that first barracks is still alive as well. Ghost Academy hasn't started yet, but could start at any point, and this is kind of the push that I was talking about. If the Locusts have been used, and let's be real, they have been used, in that case, you're pretty free to move out on the map here. I mean, it's only 75 workers. That means that there's a huge army. And I think denying a bit of creep and taking a 5th base is great. Ooh, but what would be even greater is just going for an actual push and trying to deny an opponent's base. These BCs, once again, flying across the map, by the way. A little bit risky, as that jump isn't off of cooldown yet. I'm also not entirely sure why Battlecruiser production hasn't continued, but these 2 Thors will take care of these Mutalisks. More Thors show up. This is 9 Thors currently against 15 Mutas. I really do believe there is potential for a huge, but an absolutely huge push here for the Terran. And maybe that is what the Terran wants to do here with this, with these BCs. Just kind of pull the Mutas out of position. Now that the Locust Wave has been used as well, there's double turrets here at this base, but there's not enough SCVs to repair. Banelings are gonna, well, run in and freaking destroy this planetary. Complete destruction. And these spores will get taken out, and so will these queens most likely. There's a couple of Yamatos actually already being used. These Mutalisks will try to fly away. Or, well, the Mutas will try to kill this. Will not quite succeed though. Hellions turning into Helvets. There's a massive Thor army here knocking at the front door of Ragnarok. 5th base has been taken out, of course. More command centers are being built right now. Mutalisks trying to get in towards this base, but with the Thors there should not be capable of achieving too much. Locust Wave does land, take out 1 tank, but that's about it. And that's all there is. That's going to be all she wrote for that Locust Wave at least. And now Ryung needs to make a decision. Do I want to continue pushing, take out another base? Or do I go back home? He decides to go back home and try and take a 5th base. I am not sure if that is the correct call here. I just don't know. Ghost Academy is being built. Once these ghosts come out, of course, Snipe is going to be so useful. Not only against the Mutalisks, but also against Swarm Host and really every single unit that exists. The Ghost is one of these units that you almost never have enough of. You almost never hear a Terran say, oh, I wish I had less Ghosts. No. You almost always hear Terran say, oh, wow, I wish I had more Ghosts. I love this forward command center, by the way. Really showing a good understanding of how this map is going to play out. And it will play out a lot around this watchtower and around this left side. So we see the BCs, a tank. We see these Thors as well being here. Really just a defense on the left side. This could turn into a planetary still as well, of course. And then this right side will kind of be blocked by having the planetary in this position, having the watchtower, and then with the Thors being able to kind of maneuver towards this downward side. At some point, you take the forward base with a planetary as well, and this is going to be completely blocked off. So really Ryung playing for the late game here, and it's kind of what I expected. Battlecruisers on the left side, of course, going to be super useful against these Locust Waves. 2, 3, 4 Locusts will go down and are kind of forced to land quickly here. The tanks will come in as well. The turret, of course, forcing that lift, because otherwise the turret gets too much damage in. 4 workers do end up going down. There's a huge Baneling army here, and the one thing that might be lacking on this side of the map is not so much the anti-air, but perhaps the anti-ground. Lots of scans are being used to continuously monitor what army is where. as this right side now looks a little bit weaker, especially against ground. There's 3 tanks here, but without the planetary being done, this is a scary moment. It really is a scary moment. The BCs once again try to go across the map as the first 2 ghosts are out and are moving, marching toward that far right side. Ship weapons level 2 on the way, as well as +2 armor at the forward eBay. No turret range, by the way, yet, and no building armor either. That's a little bit surprising. I wouldn't have minded seeing those faster. Oh my god. Thors are so sick. You fall asleep at your keyboard for 1 second and bam, just like that, you lose 10 mutas. Gotta be real careful there. 18 mutas still remain, but 16 mutas have already gone down. Right now we have these battle cruisers targeting down the spore, and the spore's targeting down the battle cruiser actually. These queens here with the transfuses, Mura's now coming in as well. 1 BC does end up falling. A little bit sloppy there and completely not necessary. I don't know what died, but it looks like oh, he's killing his own Thors? Then he's building another Thor as well. New is always better than old. I said what I said. Okay, far right side's gonna get taken as a Thor shows up there as well. More orbital commands are being morphed as well. And I think that's the correct call. I really do believe that to be the correct call. 15 Corruptors as well as 5 Infestors on the way right now. +2 Carapace, +1 Carapace on the Spire. +3 attack is already done on the Spire, of course. These Mutalisks have been dealing a crap ton of damage. Not quite sure what the actual unit... Oh my god. Ragnarok not paying attention. We're gonna end up losing 2-3 mutas right away. Ghost here being so helpful in this type of scenario. But yeah, overall units lost is heavily in favor of Ryung, and with this potential split map here, Ryung has been mining less so far. But if he gets these bases, and this base doesn't get taken by Ragnarok, and this base hasn't been taken by Ragnarok, Ragnarok eventually is just going to mine less. I think this base will be really difficult to grab, close to impossible perhaps even. And this right side base at this point, well, I mean, is also close to impossible to grab. That means that if Ryung takes one of the bases of the Zerg, Terran 100% wins. It is impossible for Terran to lose when they're up a base, especially if they have Ghost. So what does Ragnarok need to do right now? Ragnarok needs a fantastic fight and needs to start trying to secure this left side. If Ragnarok can do that, that would be huge. This could be potential for a great fight, by the way. A couple of Infestors here as Hellbats are moving forward with the backup of these Thors, tanks, and a crap ton of Ghosts. Actually, he's dealing a fair amount of damage. Is there still a Thor over here? No, there's not. Only a single turret as well. Ragnarok, of course, not aware of that. But this turret is going to get taken out. So mine is going to, well, not quite land. Interesting nuke. There's no way this works, though, right? This is that Ghost knew as well. That wasn't gonna work. No way, buddy. Not today, my friend. Not today. Alright, what else do we have here? Otherwise, if he's moving forward, we'll once again start building command centers and turrets. I love the way that Ryung has been playing this game. Gets Yamato on this base. Oh, doesn't kill it though. So cancel will be used here. Ravens! Man, how many control groups does this guy have? He's gonna have Thors, Hellbats, tanks, Ghost, Raven, Battlecruiser. Every Terran I know just uses F2, so curious to see how how he's gonna control all of this. Look at this, it's just moving in one big clump. Yeah, he's also just F2ing this. For a second I was really impressed, like, wow, he's so many control groups. But no, my friends, this is just F2 moving over here. It's going to be difficult to control nonetheless, though, whether you use F2 or 17 different control groups. This is just an army that requires very specialist control. We now see a couple of scans going down. The Brood Lords are going to move into vision for the first time in a second or two from now. You have a nuke coming in. I think he just saw the Brood Lords. He's going to regret killing a couple of his own Thors earlier. If this nuke is going to land, we'll kill one spore maybe. Is that a hit? Oh, that's a hit. That's a hit, baby, right there. Boom. How many command centers are we at currently? We have, well, 7 orbital commands, 3 more starports on the way, as well as a couple extra barracks. So big production is being produced here. What was first, the producer or the production? Well, actually in StarCraft 2 it's both, because you get SCVs and a command center. It's both the chicken and the egg. They were made at the same time by Mr. Blizzard. These Ghosts are gonna keep moving forward. 9 Ghosts in this army. 9 Thors as well in this army, and 2 Ravens. It is a weird looking army. These Mutalisks are trying to do something. And they're actually doing a fair amount. We still don't have that turret range, by the way. I'm really surprised to see that. Ooh, as I say that, look at what we got. High sec auto tracking, that's the name of it. There we go. Also still could go for that that armor upgrade. I also have no clue what that is called, of course. Just the building armor, I think. Maybe we can call it building armor. It's a crap ton of Broodlords here. This is exactly the army that Ragnarok needs, because that's the only army that allows him good fights. Oh, big EMP is going to land. Here come the Banelings. Will take out that nuking ghost just in time. At the same time, every single Mutalisk fell on the far left side. And Ragnarok is down about 10k in the resources lost. We have a new command center being built. Now, moving towards this base already at this point, I think is a little bit over-eager. As I say that, he lifts it up and starts going there. I think that spreads him a bit too thin, and it's not necessary either. I think a big focus on that left side currently is definitely what we need. Ryung, however, disagrees and starts pushing forward, and maybe he wants to just start fighting here. He says, hey, this left side seems pretty darn secure. I have a planetary over there. What happens if I attack you here? I also believe this would be a great timing to get rid of 30, 40 extra SCVs at this point. Just go down to 30 SCVs. I mean, what do we have? We still have what, 7 orbital commands. You could build like 4 or 5 extra orbital commands, get rid of 20 SCVs or increase that army size as the Hellions are moving and getting a little bit of damage. Of course, this isn't super useful in the short term, but these traits are great. Great in the long term. It's forcing out extra spine crawlers, you're killing workers, you're annoying your opponent. Ragnarok is probably fuming at his keyboard as we speak. And there's 8 more Hellions on the way, so it looks like Ryung wants to continue this type of play. At the same time, having a higher work count, of course, also has the advantage of being able to mine out these risky side bases a bit quicker. I'm surprised we're not seeing any mules. What is this? Reactors, Liberator range, triple nukes being researched. Okay, I dig it. I see where you're going. Double Thor drop into the main base. This is another great move. That makes very little sense. You know what would be sick? You do a double Thor drop, and at the same time, you drop a ghost with a nuke on the ramp. Boom. 2 Thors in the main. The other guy thinks, I'll take care of that. Bang. You nuke his army as it walks on the ramp. All you need is very good timing and a lot of luck. But you need that for everything in life. These Hellions are going to turn into Hellbats as these Banelings start moving forward. 5 Changelings are going to spot this Thor drop and are also going to spot this base. But the brothers from earlier had already seen that. They're going to expire eventually in this corner. This Thor will take out a queen. We'll now go to work on the hive. If this Thor kills the hive, I'm going to be shocked. I've been shocked before in my life. The second Thor is going to show up. I didn't know there was going to be a battle cruiser and a second Thor. Okay, if I had known that, I wouldn't be so shocked. This is still pretty shocking nonetheless, though. Ooh! Very forward blink here. Talk about making a move, my friend. There will be a neural here, as this Spore will hopefully take care of this. I'm not quite sure what that nuke killed, but it looked like something died. It might have just been some creep tumors, though. As in the resources lost, it looks like a bit of DC almost killed us. Yeah, it almost did. Almost killed something there. Oh, Mannermew! Ooh, Ryung with the Mannermews. My friend, the game is not over yet, but I do appreciate it. That was nothing but a Mannermew. He muled the nuke. Like, that is Manner. Okay, that is Manner. He's gonna use these Ravens, by the way, for the anti-armor missile, which is a completely correct play, but it's a play that almost no Terrans make. And I love to see this being used in the very, very late game with mech. Ryung really seems to have a great plan. Now, maybe his execution at times isn't completely brilliant, but I think in general he's playing a fantastic game here. I'm surprised we're not seeing these gases being taken yet. It's obvious to me that these gases have priority over everything else. Huge fungals hitting here, though. Anti-armor missile is going to hit just 2 of these infestors. EMP is also going to hit, and a couple of Thors will fall before this fight even starts. These Thors completely stuck here in between a planetary and... Oh, what is that? I don't know, it's like some reef or something like that. A couple of fishes flying around in it. 2 Thors, once again, are actually going to take out some tech structures here. They are also going to get sniped. And Ragnarok is going to continue moving forward with a huge army that he has. 52 workers only. And I think Ryung should be capable of defending this as a nuke gets launched. I'm not even sure which ghost is doing it. It seems to be this ghost. There's a crap ton of Broodlords. 26 Broodlords right now. So a couple of Vikings are being added into the mix. There's of course perfect upgrades for absolutely everything. There's not actually that much anti-air right here for Ragnarok. 6 Corruptors, 2 Vipers I guess with that parasitic bomb are going to help out as well. This base is still mining, and that fight probably was slightly better than any of the previous fights, but now the Vikings and the anti-armor missiles are actually putting in some big work. Huge chase here, but the Brood Lords shoot once, the entire ground army freaking evaporates. Oh, huge EMPs! Man, these ghosts. The control out of Ryung has been absolutely fabulous, and it is not easy with this many different types of units. They all need to be used different. Right now, it just seems like a huge A move, though. He's going to keep chasing this army. Oh, more EMPs are coming down, as I think some of these stores are not in the correct mode. And all need to change to their, I think the 250mm cannon it's called. Meanwhile, the Vikings still going pretty ham, trying to kite these Corruptors. More Vikings are in production. That last fight, once again, was okay. It wasn't brilliant for Ryung, but he doesn't even need brilliant fights anymore because he's out-mining his opponent. He has that right side base up. All he needs to do is cancel that left side base, make sure that mining does not happen from there, and Ryung is going to be just fine. Thor's once again coming in without these 50mm cannons. Here we go. Now they're turning themselves into these bosses that can shoot from a long range on these Brood Lords. That's exactly what we need. 5 more Thors on the way, a couple of Hellbats as well being built, and another Raven on the way. I really think this Raven is a fantastic call. Helps so much with the Vikings, of course, with their double shot. It also helps a crap ton with just the Thors, adding a little bit of extra damage. It just helps with everything. Even if it's just a little bit, it is still nice to have. More creep tumors being thrown down here by this Queen. I'm not quite sure if this Queen is going to do this by herself, but that's quite a task. Seems to be a very busy bee. Well, just a queen, really. Queen bee. 6 Liberators. I knew there was a joke in there somewhere, but I missed it. 6 Liberators on the way right now are going to help kind of zone out these infestors. The main issue, of course, still being the air army. There's no Vipers currently on the map. That does mean that any type of air that is going to be built will be a lot stronger. Whether it's Liberators, Vikings, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be really strong. Spire is under attack, and that means that another Spire needs to be rebuilt, as well as a Roach Warren. And Ragnarok is kind of migrating towards the far left side. Overall resources lost still 10k in favor of Ryung, who's starting to mine out the space, slowly but surely. Very slowly, but also quite surely. This base ideally gets, well, denied at some point. And hopefully that point is sooner rather than later. For Ragnarok, however, in order to win this game, well, he's still just going to need the same thing as 10 minutes ago, honestly, and that's a fantastic fight. He's just going to need a fantastic fight and to push into his opponent's production. That's what we're going to need to see. And it's difficult with this army, but it is possible. He has a very large army supply. And you hit, what, 2-3 fungals, your opponent gets caught in the broodlings. Game can be over just like that. Vipers are being built right now, 3 at a time. You see Ragnarok continuing his spore forest as well. And this queen once again is given an impossible task basically. Here, you go build 8 creep tumors with your 23 energy. Alright. You do you. Another Raven on the way. Is this Raven number 2? Yeah, Raven number 2 is coming out. There's freaking 3 more tech labs on the way. I think these are on the barracks that were built like 12 minutes ago as well. They've just been idling there for a bit. Nuke gets thrown down. How many nukes do we still have? It's a unit. 3 nukes. We'll take out a spore, I guess. As these links manage to get into the main. There's still a lot of mineral patches in the main, by the way. This Hellbat will make short work of these links. That is not going to be much of an issue. And Ryung here smartly deciding to kind of move towards this far right side and saying, hey, wait, where did that Hellbat go? It's still here. How about we use that Hellbat? It must get really hot in that suit. It really must. Anyway. I like the way that Ryung is approaching this from the right side rather than going up this ramp or going up this left side ramp. Because you can get a way better concave here, and it's going to be quite important perhaps. I think 1 Thor being sent here to take out all these spores would suffice, but perhaps I'm incorrect here. There's going to be some aggressive turrets built, or no, it's just going to sacrifice the lives of these SCVs. That's the life of an SCV, I guess. Once the supply gets too high, you can just throw him out. That is pain. That actually is quite painful. Broodlords are going to head towards the main base. It's a move that's going to expose them a little bit, as there's Vikings close by as well. We'll see what Ryung decides to do. He does need to act quickly, because there's a lot of damage output. Not only on these Broodlords, but also on the Broodlings, of course, who do have +3 attack. A couple of these production facilities are going to get taken out. At the same time, these SCVs and a single Thor are going to once again destroy this hive. The anticipation to these tech buildings being taken out hasn't really been there whatsoever. Broodlords are still going ham in the main base, and it means that this Spore Forest is going to get taken out. And without the Spore Forest, it must be really difficult to hold this. Broodlords now go back home. A single Broodlord remains. Ooh! Good neural there on that ghost. There's another neural comes in. Some quick EMPs. This is nice and this is fun. But this is mainly nice and fun if you also have a way to kind of leverage that lead into something. We immediately see Ragnarok is looking for, well, a fight here. It's actually going to get this fight if he hits that fungal. It's not going to hit that fungal quite yet. Here comes a big fun though. Big fungal, big fungal, big fungal. Catches one Thor, catches another Thor. 2 of these ghosts are also going down. Do we just straight away go to production, or what is the plan here? 5, 6 Vikings in production right away. This could be the fight that Ragnarok has been hoping for this entire game. But it could also be, well, a suicide mission really. Going away from the spores, kind of chasing 2 Thors in a wild goose chase around the map. Isn't quite my idea of fun either if I would be a Broodlord. This guy is having a way better time. Everyone forgot about him. Go, my Broodlings. Factory's gonna get taken out eventually. Oh, well, not a Viking and the Thor show up. We're gonna ruin his dreams. It's going to be an interesting fight, and perhaps an all-deciding fight, as these Liberators dealing a lot of damage. Parasitic Bomb is doing some work. Raven, the anti-armor missile, is also dishing out a crap ton of damage. Oh my god, the anti-armor missile in combination with the Liberator splash is absolutely crazy. Vikings dealing a lot of damage as well, and I think that Ryung is actually doing it here. That anti-armor missile lasts forever. Holy crap. Do we have another one available? No, we don't. There is an auto turret close by, though. Corruptor count is basically 0. 15 more Corruptors are on the way. Liberators are going to start hitting these Broodlords right now, though. And with these Vikings still chasing as well, I think these Broodlords are all going to end up falling. Or at least a large portion is going to end up falling before these next few Corruptors are out. Oh my god, not the splits that he needs. These brutes are going to take a lot of damage. How many brutes have gone down so far this game? 22 Broodlords have gone down. These Corruptors come in, they save the day, but how are they going to start fighting these Thors? I don't think it's going to be possible. The gas bank has been completely depleted at this point. The ground army is still here for Ryung with all of these Thors, and I think he should just continue pushing forward right now. Only 9 Broodlords, 8 more on the way. That could make life difficult again. At least take out a base, I would say. At the same time, still pushing forward is Ryung. Units lost heavily in favor of the Terran player as well. Is still rebuilding them. Ghost. And he's so good at rebuilding the army that he wants. He knows exactly what army he wants. And whenever a unit dies, he's like, okay, that unit died. I'll replace it with the exact same unit. Good luck, my friend. Like, he's happy with how complete his army is. And if he sees more Broodlord, perhaps he adds a couple of Vikings. If he sees, I don't know, like Ultras, then he starts manor muling. Like, it's... He really has it all figured out, this mech composition, and it looks absolutely fantastic here. Vikings are going to just target down these Broodlords. That means that there's nothing to kill these Thors on the ground. Links are coming in, but a single Hell that will deal with that. G. As Ryung wins the game here on 2K Atmospheres in a fantastic game of mech versus Zerg. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.